My name is Chelsea Amotweneboah, Camotweneboah. I'm pre-med, so I want to be a doctor, I love traveling also and doing like service work, so I kind of want to go into the field of global health, like international health. Like this past summer I was in Brazil, the summer before I was in Ghana. So I just like to find opportunities in different communities where I could like serve and also learn about different cultures besides like a textbook or like someone telling me. That's good. I'm really attracted to like new ideas, like innovation stuff. That's why like in my free time I'm always like watching like TED Talks or like I'm always trying to be somewhere where things are happening. And like I also feel like if you stay in one place for a long time, it can get very toxic and you become closed-minded. So I always challenge myself to travel to like places that are like way different from where I live now, because I just feel like it makes you into a newer person and just challenges you. You come back and just like you see things in different perspective. I just feel like it's very important just to be like aware of different people, because it changes how you like connect with people on a human to human level, just to know about different things. So I just feels like traveling just like revamps your personality. It just revamps humans in general. Just I feel like sometimes as human beings we like focus so much on what makes us different, and that's so small compared to like what really like joins us together. Because like in Brazil, honestly, like the one thing that makes it different from African culture is the language. But when I was eating, I found that there's a food that the Brazilians eat that actually originated from Africa. So that explains the whole like slave trade history, and like just cross things, like those cross things just surprise me so much, because it's like, wow, like we're the same, like people. And I wish some people understood that, because I mean, as you know, history, differences are what causes like wars, differences are what causes like strife. And I really wish that we like focus on the sameness rather than like what makes us different, just like small.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
But really going to the data and like making those correlations could disprove you or support your assumptions. Maybe for me, if I'm a medical doctor, I want to get like actual facts so I could like better serve the people I'm serving, rather than assumptions which don't really have anything to do or won't benefit the people I'm trying to help. Eliminates a lot of assumptions that could really like have dire effect on whatever work you're trying to do. Sometimes because we just want the shortcut, it doesn't lead to like factual results, and it could end up hurting someone. So just having the facts, when you have the facts, you're able to relate on like a truthful level. Like you're not, making assumptions. No one's offended, and you're able to like really attack the problem. With assumptions, you could hit the problem or you could miss the problem, and that's like a 50-50 chance you don't want to take, especially in healthcare when you have people's lives on the line. So just being able to like increase your probability of really finding a solution is, I think, especially in Medicare, is the most important thing. You don't want to be guessing in a field that has to do with people's lives. So
Different.
it's different because you're not just reading a textbook, and you're not like, your whole life's not driven by a test. Like I feel like, especially with the education system, I feel like that's distracting when you always have to worry about, your grade or textbook information, or just like chewing in information just to get a grade on a test. I think this information, because you're learning it and then applying to your own things, on your own data or your own research, it's more relevant to the students. So instead of like drowning out, you want to hear the information, because that's what you're going to apply to your question or your research. And a lot of times these students are choosing questions that really matter to them. So based on your experience or your background, you're choosing questions that matter to you. Now they have their variables pertaining to whatever research they're doing.
So they picked what have they done so far?
They've picked their variables from their code books, their respective code books, yes. If I choose my variable, like what am I going to do with this? Like, I know I'm supposed to research my question, but like you're giving me a program to put it in. I've never coded in my life, like, so I don't know if I question myself so many times, like, am I going to finish this course? Like, I haven't seen coding before, and just to give me variables and tell me to find a relationship with it, it was just like, I was just like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? 'Cause I know how hard it was, especially not being exposed to coding, not being exposed to like making tables or trying to find a relationship between variables for research. And I always have kids go like, I don't know why I'm in this course. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't think I'm meant to be here, or this question seems too heavy for me. I don't know if I'm going to finish. And it reminds me of when I used to start. And I also was doing the course and I didn't see no end in sight. I was like, there's no way I could do this. Like, I wasn't meant for this. But in reality, there's no one that deserves to be in the course more than somebody else. It's a matter of learning and sticking to it, and then being happy that you have a poster to show. Because I think the most gratifying thing is starting with a question, not knowing what to do, and then ending with a poster and being able to explain to maybe like 20 different people on your research. So my role is to like encourage them that you could do this. Like, I didn't know what STATA was or R or SAS, but just sticking to it and like making your mind up that I'm going to finish it, I'm going to answer my question, and that we are all there for you, that you will like complete it, is like kind of how I see my role. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you are the one that wins because you're going to have a question with your answers, and yeah, you're going to present it. So, I did degree education level and how that relates to whether you're an alcoholic or you use drugs, and then I related that to how religious these people were. I mean, my assumption was like, of course, like if you, made it to like graduate school or any higher form of education, you're less of an alcoholic or something. And my research disproved that and told me that actually the higher you go in education, the more susceptible you are to alcohol and drugs. So that was very interesting for me just to go through that, because I had this set assumption. I was like, oh, this is going to be it. Like, I'm ready to present, and then I was wrong. I was just like, oh. But that's the thing I'm saying, like, a lot of students come in questions that they think they know the answer to, and then I'm sitting there like, guys, don't make assumptions, because you never know. Like, whatever you were taught or are taught, just disprove it and just do your research. Just go there with a blank slate, because you just never know what could happen with the data. So at first, I didn't know like what topic to touch. I was just kind of like going there blindly, trying to find like what interested me. So at first, I was just looking through the code book at all these variables, and Nice Target like breaks everything down to like location, age, whether you're religious or not, single parent, not single parent. You just get a slew of variables, and just like, okay, so what am I going to do? What's going to interest me? So I just decided to like just take variables and put them together. I failed, but it was gratifying, because like now when I approach research, you make less assumptions. You're less likely to be like, I know this, because I think that's the point of research, right? You won't be researching if you knew the answer. So when I advise my kids, I'm like, you're doing this because, in a sense, you don't really know the concrete answer. Some people are set, like, I know the answer is going to turn out this way. But that's why you're on this journey. You don't get a gold grade. You actually, I think the brunt of how you're graded is your research, how you present it, how clear it is, and because you're about to present this to people that don't know you, that this is the first time they've seen the information. So how you present that information, and how you speak about how you failed, your hypothesis failed, is a skill. And if you do that well, you will succeed in a class. So I think the panic really, really comes alive when you're in the program that you're supposed to enter your data, find relationships using math and code. Being versed in the code is kind of like a skill that you have to like keep working on. And when you type in something and it comes out red, that kind of just like, okay. So then you type in something else and it comes red. It's like, okay, so am I getting it somewhere or am I not getting it somewhere? And if you're typing wrong data, you don't understand what's going on, just like, it kind of like discourages you from going on, because you have this really interesting question, but like the data is discouraging you from going on because you have all these numbers you're trying to interpret and things are not working out. So when I was first taking the course, that's what happened to me. I would like type in code, it wouldn't work, and then you have all these tables and numbers, just like, what does this have to do with my question? Like, how is these numbers or this like making a frequency table or this and that helping me with my research question? Just doing it yourself and not getting the results is just kind of like, okay, so what is happening? So I was like running all over class trying to help people, and then some people are distressed, like, oh my God, like I just don't know what to do. So definitely like that's one of my first instances of attack. I mean, of panic at least, just like not having the data or the program work the way I thought it would. So figuring out what data is like important and what is not, like what to take out, what variable will best explain the information is kind of one of the major obstacles I feel like they'll encounter. Like some people change it maybe 5 times. You start with a question like, oh, I changed it. I'm like, that's normal. You want to have that. Because that shows that you're gaining a deeper understanding of your question. I can't do my question anymore because there's literature about it. Like, what's the point of me researching it? And I told her that, like, yes, there's like literature on it, but some people, it could be the case that they haven't related it the way that you're about to relate it. I think the research is to help you answer different parts of your question. It's not there to answer your question, because I mean they could have the same variables as you, but they're not trying to answer the same aspect of the question as you. So, and sometimes they haven't really done statistical research. It's kind of just like, observations. Like you go here, but you're doing the math part of it. I think that's really important because a literature could say that, alcohol doesn't affect education, but your data is disproving that, or just answering a different aspect of that question. So I tell them, like, even though there's literature, don't let that hinder you, because you might find something that the person who wrote the book didn't find, and that's like the most a critical point, the most like wonderful things about QHC. A lot of students don't have experiences on really talking about their work. People are just used to writing it down and having someone grade it, but that's a different skill. I feel like that's really important in education, being able to like explain to somebody else. I think that's a true test of whether you understand whatever you're doing or what you were taught. It's if you're able to relate that information to somebody else, and that's the point of education, being able to share your ideas with other people. Students, after they do it, they really see why it was important and why they kind of like went through this journey of trying to find an answer to their research question. So if it's something that's yours, something that you can relate to, there's more of you that goes into it. So I just feel like when something is yours, it just becomes more a part of you.